guys, welcome to another Beauty Ninjas Mask Monday, and I'm going to continue talking about the recovery series. And I'm using a pineapple mask, and I forgot if I got this from Gracie or Renee. Oh my god, this is from Tony Moly, and I like Tony Moly. Tony Moly he makes some good masks, or he, she, the company, whatever, they make some good masks. Look at my hair, y'all. I just don't know what to do with it. It's called Fresh to Go, and you can't see what it's good for. It doesn't really say anything. Oh, it's for dull and dark. It makes dull and dark skin look radiant. So yeah, please. I've got a lot of dark under my eyes. I've been so busy lately that I have to do like 3 or 4 videos in one session to keep up, and I'm still having problems. And so there's that. I can keep up with watching 1,000-something people a week rather than answering like a lot of comments on my own thing. But you know, it's just life. Life is busy. And when we're talking about life-changing situations, I want to please say a prayer for my friend Alice Lynn. I love being a Grammy. I can't share any details, but she is not doing too well. She needs some prayers. Okay, so have not talked to her about her situation yet. We're all kind of like keeping up in the friend circle about how she's doing, but just keep her in your prayers, please. She's a very good friend of mine. She's a very sweet lady. Oh, this feels good, and it is very, very wet. Oh, I like this. Oh, look how the webbing is. You see how it sticks to the skin? Oh, genius. And I love pineapple. I tell you, I like pineapple. Pizza and everywhere. But let's go ahead to the recovery series. So I was having to do 90 meetings in 90 days, and I had just gotten to my class, you know, and counselors and stuff like that. And I was feeling really homesick. And I had like a lot of shit on my mind because, you know, I'm out in the free world now. And I don't know anybody. I got kicked out of my county and got put somewhere else. Okay. And I have to start from ground zero. So not having any money or a job is one thing. All right. So they didn't want me to get a job until my 90 was up. And then I could look for a job. And I did. I put applications and interviews, and I walked to the interviews. And, you know, you kind of want to be honest. I'm in treatment. I'm in drug court. You know, I've gotten in trouble. You know, and all that kind of like, doesn't really put a good light on you, right? So back in my addiction, I was talking about McDonald's, working as a manager and having to go everywhere and do everything, and they fired me. Well, I had to swallow a humble pill. Don't never say never about not going back to a job, because I did need them, and I did finally got hired at a McDonald's. I swore I would never go there again, but bottom line was I needed a job, right? So I went and put in an application, and they hired me right away. And come to find out that my supervisor was one of the supervisors I worked with in Brunswick. And I'm like, great. But anyways, when I actually finally got to see him, I told him the situation and that I'm doing good. And he was like, that's good. So I ended up working there. And I still needed a sponsor. And I had called so many ladies, and every lady I saw in the meeting that raised their hand to be a sponsor, I had ran straight to them, got the number, and called them up. And after a little discussion, they were like, oh, well, no, I can't sponsor right now. And it really upset me, because if you can't sponsor right now, why did you raise your hand? If you can sponsor you raise your hand, why don't you just tell me, I don't think I'm situated to your specific needs or something? I mean, it's an honest program. Come on, right? So that was one of the things that I kind of like had to get real with. I had to admit like all these things that I have done, right? So people were talking around like, Jessica needs a sponsor, Jessica needs a sponsor. And I got this lady's number, and I called her, and we talked, and we had so much in common. Like our lives we weren't far from the same age. We had the same kind of addiction behaviors and things that we had done in our addiction. And she said, we're going to try this, okay? I'm going to see, because a lot of sponsees don't do what sponsors ask them to. But I was really willing. I wanted to go ahead and try this out. Let's see if it works for me, okay? And so she gave me like first assignments, you know, read the first 164 pages of the big book and write a life story. I had to write paragraphs and my input and things about the first step, which is powerlessness, which I use the steps to this day. Even though I went through all of them with my sponsor, oh, my stomach, did you hear that? But I just ate a Popeye's spicy fish sandwich, and so it's getting ready to rumble. But so I still need these steps to this day, especially right now. Like, that's the thing about going through recovery with the steps, is especially right now, because right now I'm going, you know, I went through a lot of life changes. I got a new job. My dad is awfully sick. My mom sold her house to, I love the place that she lived, but she sold it. And yeah, that's powerless. That's her decision. That's not my lane. You know, my dad is deadly sick. Then, you know, I have my own health issues, and I'm getting married this year, and there's just a lot going on that I wouldn't have been able to even have the opportunity to live through these things if it wasn't for me being in recovery. So we started, you know, working on the steps together. And when in treatment, they do get your sponsor's phone number, right? Now, the sponsor doesn't share anything with the counselors and the treatment teams, but they will say that you're doing progress, or no, you're not calling, or you're like doing the bare minimum. Because some people just want to say, I have a sponsor, and go to meetings, and they'll get behind it. That doesn't cut it. You have to really do the work, right? I didn't want to do the steps because it's called step work, and I'm the last person who wants to do work and think about shit, right? I don't like to think, especially when it came to admitting things. And like, we had to admit things in my group. Like, yes, I was the grandma that sold the grandchildren's Christmas gifts for dope. Yes, I sold my parents and loved ones' belongings because I had already sold all mine and I ran out of dope. You know, you have to be honest and face that you have done those things to realize just how sick of a person you were. So when it comes to treatment, my biggest thing was being able to trust these girls in this closed space to let out things. And that was hard for me because, like I said, not everybody has your best intentions, right? Some of these girls, they mess up. They get caught doing things they're not supposed to, like out with guys, they're not coming home, relapsing on over-the-counter stuff to get high that's not detected in a, you know, drug screen, and or just plain out dishonesty, you know. And when it comes to that, and someone's on their case, they will make rumors on your behalf to deflect from their shit. So I watched everything I said because I didn't want someone to twist my words around. See, they do say you don't have a right or a wrong in the things you do, like when it comes to opening up and treatment. But to me, that was different because they can use your honest thoughts and put it totally against you and set you a step backwards when you're really trying to strive to go forward. So that was like my main problem, was trusting the girls, because it's just like high school. They get very, very cliquish, and you are very wild one minute, and the next minute they don't want to invite you nowhere or have nothing to do with you because you're not tagging along and doing the same shit and talking the same bullshit that they are, you know? So that was just the biggest struggle I had. But, you know, as long as I had my sponsor I can confide in these things with, the better it was for me to deal with the powerlessness and the steps to go to treatment and jobs. And I'm telling you, when I got my first job, I used the let it go thing really good, because when customers came and were barking at me, instead of bitching back and barking back, I'm just like, you know what? They're here for 10 seconds. I'll take their bullshit and they can let it go. You know, I used it in all kinds of ways in life as I was growing and with the recovery steps, right? Now, my biggest problem with the steps was forgiveness, and which is like step 4, which is like where you do personal inventory, and then you realize why you acted the way you acted, right? So I'll get into that one next week, because 4th step is kind of like, I'm not only forgiving others, but I'm asking, asking others to forgive me. I'm trying to forgive myself, and that is kind of like a really big deal. Forgiveness is one of the biggest things in recovery that can get you to move forward, honesty, willingness, open-mindedness, so anyways, I'm going to take this mask off. I don't want to. It is so good. It feels awesome. Oh my God, Tony Moly, you made a good one with this. Look, my eyebrows look like they're perfect when they're really bushy and big. Oh, but I love this mask. And I have to just go ahead and give a shout out to everybody at work that's letting me have my appointments and understands that when I get off in the morning, I go straight to my dad's house, or I have to run to my house, or I have so much shit to do. It is ridiculous. So when I'm out, I'm fucking out. But anyways, I thank you all for watching me. If anybody has a problem with addiction, or is interested, or knows somebody who has a problem with addiction, and you can't help them, but you would like to have a more understanding, there is a hotline website down in the description box, and you can click on it. There's a toll-free number that's confidential. And go ahead and check out the playlist from the other Beauty Ninjas. I can't wait to see what topics each one of them have this week. And we also have a new member. We have a new member to the beauty community, to the Ninja Mask Monday, and that is Jen from Jen's Hangout. She is totally sweet, and all of us are in her chat, so we thought, let's just add her into this one. So anyways, love you guys so much, and I'll see you next week.